Names, Part 4. Traveling down the Canal of Roots. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you. Yes, another names video. You know what that means. This is just an introduction of sorts to the topic we will be discussing. A precursor, really. Okay, so today we'll be discussing the origins of the words listed on screen. Language, Indus, India, and Sanskrit. Now, I know you're probably wondering, why would we want to find out the meanings and the origins of these words? Well, there's a perfectly logical explanation for this, which I'll make up later. Let's begin with the word language. What exactly is language? Language is defined as the principal method of human communication consisting of words used in a structured and conventional way and conveyed by speech, writing, or gesture. A system of communication used by a particular country or community. The style of a piece of writing or speech. Okay, now let's have a look at its origins, shall we? The word language originates from the Latin word lingua, meaning tongue or speech. This Latin word evolved into the Old French word langage. Okay, my French is horrible. And eventually into the English word language. Essentially, the concept of language as a means of communication is linked to the physical organ of the tongue and the act of speaking. Well, I could have told you that. Anyway, language is a form of verbal or nonverbal communication. I'm just summing it up. Though the word itself comes from the Latin word for tongue, probably because all verbal communication uses the tongue in some way, shape, or form. Again, in another video, we'll have a look at the most common languages from the past and in the current times, as well as some of the most common root languages and their branches. I know, it sounds so exciting. Okay, language is a big thing on this channel. If you haven't already noticed, your girl likes to break everything in Bible down until she gets to the root of every word. Etymology is just her pastime. Okay, let's move on though. Indus and India. We can tackle both of these at once. Let's start with Indus. The name Indus primarily refers to the Indus River, a major river in South Asia. Etymologically, it originates from the Sanskrit word Sindhu, also meaning river or sea. The name has been adopted by various cultures, including the Greeks as Indos and the Persians as Hindus, and eventually became associated with the region around the river, ultimately giving rise to the name India. Indus is coming from the word that was used for a water source like the sea or a river. Let's not confuse it with Indu, which would be moon, I'm sure, from which we get words like Indumati. Forgive my small tangent, I'm doing it again. Okay, shut up. Let's look at India, which gives much the same information as Indus. The name India originates from the Indus River. The name evolved through various languages and cultures, starting with the Sanskrit word Sindhu, meaning river. Persian speakers then used Hindu for the region around the river, which evolved into Indus in Greek and eventually India in Latin and English. Okay, information down below. You can read yourself if you want to. But I want to move on to Sanskrit. Okay, Sanskrit. The word Sanskrit literally means perfected or well prepared in the Sanskrit language itself. It is a compound word formed from the Sanskrit prefix sam, meaning together, good or well, and the past participle krta, meaning made or done. This etymology signifies a language that is complete, pure, and perfectly formed. Interesting. Okay, now there are a lot of ways for a language to be written. For example, English and most Latin and Germanic languages use Romanized writing. Even non-Latin or Germanic languages use Romanized writing now because the Romans took over. Like the alphabet we use to write is the type of script that we use, as you can see on screen. Others use Cyrillic, as you can see on screen. or characters which represent pictures rather than sounds, though in some cases each stroke can have a sound that can be associated with it. Let's see what Sanskrit uses. Sanskrit is most commonly written in the Devanagari script, a left-to-right writing system that is also used for languages like Hindi and Nepali. However, throughout its long history, Sanskrit has also been written in various other Brahmic scripts, such as the northern Sarada script and the eastern Bangla script, and regional scripts continue to be used today. A syllable-based system, Devanagari represents each syllable with a consonant and an inherent vowel, which is modified when a vowel follows a consonant. This script has become the most widely used for Sanskrit, particularly in modern times, and is known for its comprehensibility and suitability for typesetting. Very interesting. What's most interesting is that though Sanskrit was once written in other scripts, which is to say with different writing, it's now mostly written in Devanagari. It makes me wonder which other languages were formerly written in different scripts but are now Romanized, and what their original scripts were. I mean, obviously, a lot of other cultures use a lot of different writing, which some people probably didn't recognize as writing and just were like, these people don't write. When in fact, they were writing and you just didn't recognize it was writing. Okay, sorry. Like, why is Russian a Slavic language using Cyrillic script like Greek? I mean, I know the answer, but it just seems so strange and wrong. What were the scripts of the past? Why weren't they recognized as writing, and where are they now? Probably nowhere. But I really want to know these things. I just love finding out these things. Now, I'm not going to tangent. Just won't. Let's further investigate this Devanagari business just a bit more. What does Devanagari mean exactly? Okay, let's see. Devanagari is an Abugida writing system originating in India, used for over 120 languages, including Hindi, Sanskrit, Marathi, and Nepali. Developed from the ancient Brahmi script and is characterized by a prominent horizontal headstroke. Shiroreka? Okay, it runs left to right and combines consonant letters with vowel signs to form syllables. The name Devanagari itself comes from Sanskrit, meaning script of the gods, little gods, or script of the abode of the little gods. Abugida, this is a type of segmental writing system where consonants have an inherent vowel sound, and combining vowel sounds are attached to the consonant to indicate a different vowel. Like, I noticed in Hindi you might have daha, but it would never be daha e or like d unless you change the letter. It's not like with or it's sort of like with us with English, how you can write di, but like in Korean when you have like the da sound, it would always need to be accompanied by a vowel. It's not just da. The diot is not just da. It has to have a vowel in order for it to actually be or 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 oo or o or e. So, okay, I do understand that. That makes perfect sense. Left to right, Devanagari is written horizontally from left to right. Yes. Headstroke, shiroreka. A defining graphical feature is the horizontal line or headstroke that connects most of the lines. Okay, it's like this line at the top, and from the line come down the letters. Just like how we would start at the bottom of a line and write up. Or, like all of our letters sit on a line, all of their letters hang from a line. Components, most letters are supported by vertical bars, which are full or half. Okay, so I get it, okay. It gets curiouser and curiouser, and this is a rabbit hole we're gonna have to go down just really quickly. Let's look for the origins of the Devanagari writing system, since we're talking about it. The Devanagari script originates in ancient Brahmi script, which emerged in the 3rd century BCE. I just hate adding, I don't know, never mind. Brahmi evolved into various regional scripts, including the Nagari script, from which Devanagari is a descendant. The name Devanagari combines the Sanskrit words diva, divine, and Nagari, city or urban, referring to the divine urban script. Curiouser and curiouser. let's just keep reading. Brahmi script, the earliest ancestor of Devanagari, with roots in the 3rd century BCE. I don't recognize this word. Gupta script and Nagari script. Brahmi developed into scripts like the Gupta script and then the Nagari script, Devanagari script. The standardized Devanagari script is a direct descendant of the Nagari script, reaching its modern form around 1000 CE. Alright, we gotta keep digging because I just can't stop here. I can't stop here. We're not at the cliff yet. We're not at the landing. Let's find the possible origins of Brahmi scripts. The Brahmi script, a foundational script of South Asia, likely originated from the Semitic script, possibly Aramaic, around the 5th century BCE. While some theories suggest an indigenous origin or link to the Indus Valley script, the mainstream view favors a Semitic origin with influences from Aramaic or other Near Eastern scripts. Quite a bit of conjecture. I wonder what's the proof. Aramaic influence. The most widely accepted theory posits that Brahmi evolved from the Aramaic script, which was prevalent in the Near East and Iran during the Achaemenid Empire's rule over parts of the Indian subcontinent. Some scholars propose other Semitic scripts like Phoenician as Brahmi's ancestor, with the Phoenician script itself derived from Egyptian hieroglyphs. Again, quite a bit of conjecture, but also sort of confusion because according to modern day beliefs, these Egyptians, that place that they call Egypt, that is by the Mediterranean and by the sea, like the Red Sea, what they used to call, I think, the Sea of Aden or Aden. Apparently that place that they call Egypt was supposedly the home of the son of Ham, called Mitzrayim. But if this is the son of Ham's land, how is he Semitic? Because he doesn't come from Shem. If you are Semitic, you are coming from Shem's line. If you are coming from Ham's line, you are Hamitic. The supposed Egyptians or Mitzrayim would be Hamitic. Anyone who is coming from Ham would be Hamitic. So if these hieroglyphs are matching something that is supposedly Semitic or Shemitic, how are they Ham? Or maybe they're just matching something that is actually Ham that people think is Shem. But something, I don't know. Scooby-Doo, we have a mystery. Anyway, evidence, supposed evidence. Similarities between Brahmi letters and the Semitic counterparts, like the letter A resembling Semitic alif, supporting this theory. Okay, I have to stop here. There's other theories listed below. Please feel free, or like there's other ideas listed below with supposed evidences. Feel free to just read them. Read them. I don't know if this is true, because the internet is generally full of lies, but do the research if you dare, and feel free to share your findings. I'd love to hear it. It is fascinating, even like the theory itself, though there are other theories if you keep scrolling, but it's just fascinating. Sigh. The hole never quite ends, but this is a nice landing to stop and take a break on. And even though I hate to land the plane like this video is long, so I'll wrap it up and we'll continue in another video. But until next time, hallelujah.